You sick about retro? I've got good news for you. Hello everyone, Anthony here and welcome for another video. Now today, so not a retro computer, but a more modern one. It's my idea to check a professional computer which will not be used. Actually, it's not mine, I want to precise it. I just got the authorization to use it. Well, so I will just swap temporarily the hard drive for the occasion and put my example for benchmarking this computer. For the motherboard, as you can see, it's a Dell Precision M6700. That's a computer which is has now 5 or 6 years old, maybe seven, not sure. We'll have the correction in the video. And this is not a computer for gaming, for example, but it has anyway a Quadro graphics card in it. And I want to see how it performs for a computer like this. In comparison, we will have my laptop MSI for sure, just for maybe 1 or 2 games, just to have an idea of how it performs. Is the price correct, etc. Some idea about it. For information, there is no sponsor with Dell. This is just because we are selling Dell's computer on my company. Fine.
To make things fast, I will just check if the airflow is fine. There is no dust on fans, but it's fine. But the dust on the computer, I will not remove it. For the spec, quickly, we have an i7 3rd generation with an NVIDIA Quadro, which is great for 3D and graphisme. You will find spec on the description.
So here's the computer. We will make some bench, as I told in the introduction. So just to have a comparison of this bench, I will also use my MSI laptop, which it came for more or less the same year and has more or less the same performance, except we didn't have a Quadro of the MSI, but a GeForce, of course. It's a GeForce GTX 860M on my MSI, where it has here a Quadro K3000M. It seems that normally it's 2 times less performant. It seems that it performed 2 times less than my GeForce, but I want to check that out and maybe see if we cannot make improvements also by a bit overclock. So let's go.
Well, let's start with CINEBENCH R15 and 20 benchmark test to see how perform the CPUs. Well, it's still an i7, of course, for core 8 threads, so it cannot be bad for sure. An i7 3rd generation. As you see, it's running pretty fast, which we compare to my older Celeron, a really old video. Yeah, clearly faster. It's more or less the same as my MSI laptop, but my MSI laptop is an i7 4th generation. After running test, I've also run OpenGL, you will see later. After running test, the R15 CINEBENCH benchmark test reached a score of 483 points, which is clearly not bad at all, but it's a little less than 500, unfortunately. But it's still a very good score. And on R20 we reach a score of 995 points, which it's okay, but it's under the 1000. I'm a bit impressed, but not positively for that result. The test will be finished. As you see, it didn't take so much time. It was a little speed up, but not too much. Fine. The R15 OpenGL test. which it ran great. I run several tests with and without overclock. Yeah, I've done it. The best result I've got is at stock speed, but I don't understand why. As you see, it's running perfectly smooth, no problem. Didn't see any difference if you OC out or not. And the average FPS I've got is 65.83, which is nice, perfect, no problem. A little less than my GeForce, which it was above 70, but it's still fine. Fine, let's start with games. First game is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This game is pretty okay for this machine because it was released in 2011, if I don't make any mistake, and the computer is for 2013. In comparison, we have my MSI laptop, to be sure that we have more or less the same performance. There is just 1 year's difference between my MSI and the Dell. And as you can see, in both cases, it runs pretty nice in 1080p maximum settings. Well, for sure my MSI is better, but the Dell has a quad graphics card, so it cannot be as good as the GeForce. Well, nothing special to say to Modern Warfare 3, so we will switch to Minecraft. For the test, I run the server on my pretty new build, the 2020 MSI build with my Ryzen 5. The server is running on that machine to be sure that the CPU just generates what the server give it to the computer, not doing the job itself. Well, it's not really easy to make the benchmark for Minecraft because making the same pattern, or more or less the same pattern, it's clearly harder. But well, I stay on a place just to be sure that chunks are generated. We are in 1080p 16 chunks with shader, not RTX, because there is no RTX on my GeForce, on the MSI, and not on the Quad 2. So just to be a little more demanding on the GPU, I activate the shader on this machine. FPS is dropping when chunks are more and more generated, but it's still fine. We still have, as you see, this nice average. Well, that's just for comparison, as you see, so the Dell is not performing that bad. So now it's time to overclock things and make comparison with that, because I wanted to make the fire on it. No, that's a joke, of course. Then, let's go. Begin with Modern Warfare 3 then. Then we will compare the stock configuration and the graphics card overclocked, which, of course, it will be more significant in some games and less in others. In Modern Warfare 3 you see a difference in benchmark, but not while playing, because you have more than 60 FPS, so it's just fine. This game, of course from 2011, is largely on the specs for that computer, so there is no surprise on it in this case. So again, I won't stay too much time on it because it's just fine. And now we are on Minecraft, where again compare stock and overclock. Of course, on all tests I run here, overclock will make a difference. Now it can be more noticeable in these next games, and especially in Minecraft. 24 FPS at stock, 31 when you overclocked it, so it's a big step, because 30 FPS is a cap to play a game normally. Under 30 FPS normally it's not playable. Minecraft in 25 could be great. Well, 24 we are not at 1 FPS, but well, 31 is still better. Now of course I'm running on a server. If you are running in local, it won't be a big difference because the i7 is powerful enough in this case, but it could make a little difference, of course, while playing. My advice anyway is to play without shaders to be sure that you have more FPS and have a really playable experience without any problem. That's my advice. You can still in 1080p resolution, of course. Fine, that's all for Minecraft. Next game. And the next game is Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs, the first one, released in 2014. Well, graphics has been downgraded for this game, so there were really more machines capable to run this game without any problem. And on this machine, it's a huge step. 32 FPS at stock, well, it's playable, but you will see a bit later I'm not playing extremely well, but 40 FPS in average in 1080p medium is just fine. We have a playable experience at 40 FPS. Just great, cool. Just, of course, I want to torture a bit the graphics performance just to see how well it could run. In this case, well, medium is fine. My advice is at least to run at low if you want more FPS to have a really great and totally playable experience. But yeah, these games, no problem at all. Up, as you see, I'm running, watching the camera. Just a playable experience. We don't ask more on this game. That's just fine. That's just fine. I try to make more or less the same weights at the same time. As you see, I'm a bit not perfectly synchronized, but anyway, it's still reasonable. So don't need to say anything about Watch Dogs, so I will get to the next game. And the next game is Doom 4 2016, because Doom Eternal, as you see, is not running due to a driver issue. Yes, the Quadro, you can't find a driver that it's at least recommended for playing Doom Eternal without any problem. On the MSI wasn't the problem, but cannot make the comparison. So to have a comparison, I take the 2016 game, which this one run. But unfortunately, as you see, the average FPS in both cases is really catastrophic. 25 FPS is the minimum before the game drops in performance and not running at 100%, so 21 FPS at average is a mess. 25 is just a slight better, but still not perfectly playable. As you just see, the game has slowed down. So playing on Doom 2016 is not a good idea. An advice, if you really want to, is to reduce the resolution to 720p. You can increase a bit FPS, but it still not be a playable experience. That's not cool because the CPU is largely on the spec with 16 GB frames. It's just fine. So this is clearly a GPU problem on this game. And here I'm running with Vulkan, so I can do better. Well, fine. Go to next game now. And for the next one, we stay on an ID Software video game with Wolfenstein New Colossus. That's where I don't understand how ID tech run on machines, because I've got a better result with Wolfenstein 2, which is newer than Doom 2016. We need to explain me that because I don't understand. First, you have better FPS, 22 compared to 21, overclock 28 compared to 25. Yeah, that's suspicious, but the game is still running at 100%. It's not slowing down. That's why I don't understand. And in this case, compared to Doom, get a lower resolution almost won't help. It's an idea if you really want to play it, like Doom 2016, but it will not make a serious difference. And it's only the first level. I was curious to play a bit more, and it seems that the FPS was a little lower, but unfortunately I didn't record the benchmark, so I can't tell you. Maybe on the next video, because I will pretty sure talk again about this computer to give an advice or something like this, so maybe I can tell you that if I make a benchmark. Fine. So next game will not be an ID Software, but another one. We are changing series with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It's not necessary to make Rise of Tomb Raider or Tomb Raider 2013. Take Shadow of the Tomb Raider, is just fine. As you see, is a total mess in this case. A total mess. 14 FPS compared to 18 FPS is not good at all. Here you see just the last part, so the start is a little higher in FPS, but here, yeah, you can see just now is dropping performance totally. It's not cool, as you see, but I was curious because benchmarks are automatic and I don't really need even to be there to watch it because there is a result at the end. Dropping the resolution to 720p or even 800 by 600, you have your 30 FPS or almost your 30 FPS, and it's a playable experience, or it seems to be a playable experience if it's like Rise of the Tomb Raider. So that's a nice surprise that a game released at least maximum 2 years ago is totally capable on this machine. So not good for the result here because I want to check the GPU performance, but it has its word to say, clearly. We are changing now the mind of gaming. And I'm saying that because we are running to CSGO, so now the two last game will be two competitive game. Well, we can found that on eSports game. CSGO is normally light enough to run on a machine like this. And the answer is yes, yes. You have 16 FPS, average in 1080p high with CSGO, so that's just fine if you want to play competitive game like this on this machine. If you want to start CSGO, it's not a bad idea. Now an advice, you see 71 FPS on overclock. I can't recommend to do it, but if you want to do it, it's an improvement and it will be clearly easier for you. Clearly. More FPS you have and normally better you are if you are playing competitive game like this. So doing that, why not? I can't recommend it because overclock is a risk, but clearly a better experience and it's not bad at all. CSGO, very nice job, and I can tell more on the game. That's just nice. That's really just nice. And so the last game, you know it. You know it because it's Fortnite. Yes, I can. Well, no, I didn't really like Fortnite at all at the moment, so I didn't play anymore, or almost anymore. But for benchmark, that's not a problem. I can play 1 or 2 games without any problems. This game is a extremely big surprise because it's released in 2017. I wasn't expecting that it runs just well. I was thinking that was a catastrophe. Well, it's not perfectly smooth, but it's totally playable. You can't be competitive with that. So Fortnite competitive, no. Playable, yes. Amazingly, say yes. If you want to play a solo, duo or squad game mode, maybe that's not the best idea, or be sure that you have good friends, really. But if you want to play games with respawn enable or in creative mode, clearly you can. Be with your friend, you can. It's open for you. So having a computer, you want to start with Fortnite on a computer and maybe stop playing on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, really, why not? Why not? This is really great, and in 1080p low, but the FPS is clearly unstable, so playing competitive, no. You must be really nervous on it. So I will stay with this clip, as you see Fortnite for a better and a long time, and see the average FPS if you can read it. Probably not, it's maybe too small, but you see that the experience still almost smooth, so great thing. Well, so thank you. Talking about the computer now, just to make a quick word. Well, as you see, is not performing that bad at all for a laptop from 2013. Not designed at first for making video games. It was designed for making graphics and 3D models or things like this. It's for professional usage. That's why we have a graphical, not designed for video games. But you have of course the ability to do that. And for now, it's it's just good for Second Life usage, as you see. Someone who cannot spend a lot of money on a computer to get access eventually for gaming, now it just can. With a computer like this, it just can. I don't watch the price actually for this model released on eBay or things like this, but pretty sure you can find it for 100-150 euros. It's too cheap. I want to say too cheap when you see performance like this. I don't want to tell everyone to increase the price by 15 euro, for example, but it won't be a bad idea because it's still performing really great, and it's just fine. The 500 euros I was thinking at stock, clearly not. You must have a computer with a good revision, an SSD, RAM's perfect, and a perfect cleaning inside, so unmounting everything and be sure that everything is okay, and with that you can resell it to a good price. And I'm saying all of that, but in my case I can resell it because it was not in use anymore in an enterprise, so I have restriction with it. If I want to keep that, I must keep that for me, not for someone else. But not releasing to a too few price. Dell's computer or sometimes reduce their price when they game for second hand extremely low. I don't know why. Well, this i7 third generation still good. 16 GB of RAMs also fine, as you see, and that's really nice. So I will stop benchmark here because you see almost everything. Try to make the conclusion, and for you guys, they've got changement for me in terms of mounting videos. And yes, the change is that I drop Vegas Pro Studio because I didn't like it anymore to DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, a pay one for a gratis. I will give you just quickly 3 reasons why I choose DaVinci instead Vegas. The very first reason is that the maximum video speed you can make is 4 times speed compared to 1000 in DaVinci. That's a mess. Vegas, that's a mess. The ratio render is a catastrophe. You can make 1 second render video in 1 second in Vegas compared to DaVinci, it's almost 2. Yeah, that's amazing. And the quality is worse on Vegas than on DaVinci when I make the render. That's the mainly reason.
Guys, thanks for watching the video. Leave a comment if you want. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. More important, click on the bell if you want to be notified for another video. And I hope I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.